We are ready to go.
Oh, microphones.
They're on.
No, you gotta push the button. Yeah, but we have to. Right. Yeah. And then, okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming to hear about our millage rate. Everybody duck. What an awesome crowd.
It's so glad y'all came out for that event.
Okay. All right, so we're here tonight. It is the City Commission special meeting. Tonight is Wednesday, July 18th, 2018. Here is myself, Mayor Carasone, Vice Mayor Yates, Commissioner Hanks, Commissioner Luke, Commissioner McDowell. We also have our city manager, Mr. Lear, our city attorney, Ms. Slayton, city clerk, Ms. Atkins, and for the police, we have ICOP Morales and real cop Garrison. With that, please put your phones on vibrate or
That's a lot of dinner to buy.
that's right, vibrate or silent, or you are in charge of buying dinner. That's the rule here. And we've already had chicken this week, so we'll have to think of something new. But with that, what I'd like to do is go ahead and have an invocation. I saw Pastor Eddie here. Would you like to do the invocation for us, if you would, sir?
Absolute honor.
And then after that, we'll do the pledge. So if you'll all stand. You need a microphone? Yeah. We're going to need one for the swearing in anyways. You know how they
talk
work, right?
really loud.
Yeah. The button to the left. The left. Your other left.
Supposed to be the military left. I was in the Army. Well, let me just say that it's an absolute honor to be here, and I want to thank our law enforcement community and brothers and sisters that came out. There's no doubt in my mind that it's something that I believe is so important that we show our support as a community, and as well from all the other agencies and chiefs and captains and majors and everything else that came through the door. I just want to say thank you. So let's just bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, you have been our help in ages past, our hope for years to come. You are with us through all our days, even in times of change. And you are still God, and we trust in you. Honor, duty, and sacrifice. These are the words that describe all of our law enforcement community, our city police, men and women. As our newly appointed police chief assumes his responsibility to serve and protect our city, may he be empowered to bear his responsibility of leadership with utmost integrity, courage, and humility. May he always see in him dedication to serve, and may he always see in us a willingness to give him support. May we all view this remarkable moment as an invitation to move forward with passion and purpose with the work of repairing a world filled with injustice, hatred, and intolerance. May our intentions be sincere, our labor be selfless, and may our beautiful city become a shining example for all to follow. We ask this all in our son's precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commission, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I pressed the button.
Y'all hit buttons? Okay, so it's been moved by Commissioner McDowell, seconded by Vice Mayor. Go ahead and vote. That's unanimous. Thank you. And so now we get to the part that we have all been waiting for.
Millage rate?
The swearing in. Let's go ahead and go downstairs with our city clerk and do this thing. quicker we get them in there, the quicker we can get them to work.
City manager and city, the city manager and city attorney as well.
City manager and city attorney have to come down too. Do you need me to do anything?
Well, maybe.
Yeah. I know. No, she's got that. You know, inside it out and all, right?
What about your family?
Let's go ahead and have your family come up here so that they can stand with you. One for you and one's for you? Okay. No, you gotta put your hand on there.
I want to sing karaoke.
Do it. Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
But I want. I really like to help.
Okay, I'm gonna stand back here then.
I state your name.
I, Todd Garrison,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution of the state
to hold office under the Constitution of the state
and the charter of the city of Northport.
and the charter of the city of Northport,
And that I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of police chief
the duties of police chief
of the Northport Police Department,
of the Northport Police Department
on which I am about to enter,
that I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
I want to thank my family and friends for being here today.
Thank you. We'll just give them a minute.
Yeah. This is a special day. My dad served 50 years as a police officer. And as you'll see, I'm an emotional guy, but I'm glad that they're able to see this. So I thank you, City Manager Pete Lear. Thank you for having the confidence in me. Men and women in Northport Police Department, thank you. And I'm here for the ride with you guys. Chiefs, elected officials, thank you. I know we've kept you guys a little bit longer than normal, so I'll end it. But
Well worth the wait, well worth the wait.
thank you very much. All right. And if anybody says anything about me being emotional, we're going to have a problem. Thank you.
I just wanted to say real quick, we all know what this process was like getting through it. We didn't make it through the first time of looking for a police chief. That's because we were waiting for the right guy. Clearly, by the number of people in this room from all over the place that are here to support him, we made the right choice. And I look forward to this chief taking our department to the next level. We've had some great chiefs in the past, and I think that you'll continue that reign.
Thank you, sir.
And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Can't turn back now, It is. Listen, if you can make it through these last 3 days, you're good. Thank you.
What is it? Paint into. I cleaned it up as best I could real quick. I cleaned up 244 as best I could real quick.
Just so everyone knows, there is a reception in room 244 right down here for our new chief, so you are all invited.
Cookies and milk.
All right, well, I'll see you guys when that's over.
Thank you, everyone.
There's a reception in room 244.
Don't forget, there's a reception in room 244. The reception is in room 244.
How did you do that? Why is yours better than mine?
Because
He's
he
got
gives
the
it up.
man voice. He's got the man voice. Yeah. Not Jack. No, not Jack.
We weren't going to.
Oh, the millage.
Let's just do the millage. It's
The millage and get it done with, yeah.
I don't know.
And again,
But what I did like was him going right on my face while I'm eating the mic.
No, just get the millage because by the time.
I was gonna just go through the millage and then you won't just go.
Let's get this millage thing done and over because
Okay, folks, let's move on to our agenda.
y'all are welcome to stay for our millage.
Back in,
Public
back in
comment?
session.
Any public comment?
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to quiet down, please. There's still commission meeting taking place.
I have no public comment cards. So let's move on to consideration of the 2018 Certificate of Taxable Value. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, can't hear you.
Y'all are gonna have to either talk in your inside voices or get out.
Or sit down and join us.
And it's your choice.
All right.
Okay.
What we're here for is to authorize the city manager to sign and submit the 2018 certified taxable value with the proposed maximum millage rate. As you've heard me state at all the district meetings, this is the maximum rate. It's the rate that we can only go lower from without restarting the entire budget process, which based on the last 3 days and the 3 days last month and all the other meetings, I don't think anybody wants to start over. So with that, what we have proposed the maximum millage rate to be is, all right.
Okay, we know what he's saying.
Is your microphone on?
Oh.
You need the Hanks voice.
Right.
What do you want me to do?
The current year proposed millage rate is 3.8991. which is an increase over last year's millage rate of 3.4070. That rate, like I said, would be the maximum. We have not taken into account anything that we've discussed over the last 3 days of whether that should change or not. But I am here to answer any questions you may have. We have our finance director here and several other people as well. I don't feel you guys really need a presentation on it, but if you have any questions, I'm certainly here. With that, I'll turn it back over.
And just to clarify, this is a not to exceed rate, so this is not the set rate. This is not the rate that we are adopting. It is just the rate that sets the limit to what we can raise it to.
That is correct. The adopted rate will come back to you all in September.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I don't have a question. I made my statements in the budget meetings, you know, how I felt about leaving it as it is suggested. We dropped many things. I mean, even in surtax, there was a decrease of over 400,000. So I know it will be worked through and come back with more accurate. So again, I'll just reiterate that I'm okay leaving it as is, as not to exceed, and then work from there.
Thank you. Commissioner McDowell.
City Manager, during budget, you heard me say many, many times, so it comes as no surprise. I am looking for a rate similar to last year, or at least the rollback rate. I will not be approving the not to exceed if it is that number come September. So I know you've got a challenge in front of you to get the rate down even lower. So thank you for doing that, and we'll see you in September.
Okay. Nobody's lights are on.
Oh, take mine off.
I think we hit the motion light.
No, didn't.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, so
Okay.
I was going to make motion.
Go ahead.
Unless you have questions.
No?
You want to say?
You want to say it? No? Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Motions.
What's that?
I'm not here with this motion.
Oh, you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's to go back to the old rate.
I just figured I'd make the motion.
You know what it is.
I'd make the motion, and then if I get a second, I can explain how I came up with this. But I would move to authorize the city manager to sign and submit the 2018 Certificate of Taxable Value with a proposed millage rate of 3.6827.
I'm sorry, could you state that one more time, the rate?
3.6827.
Okay, hearing no second, the motion fails. So do we have another motion?
Can't make a motion. Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the 2018 Certificate of Taxable Value with a proposed millage rate of a not to exceed 3.8991, with the understanding he has a challenge in front of him.
I'll second.
All right, so everybody push their buttons?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so it's been moved by Commissioner McDowell, seconded by Commissioner Luke. Commissioner McDowell, anything to that?
Nope.
Commissioner Luke?
I know it's coming back lower. He did it last year. He's going to do it again this year.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Anyone?
I have my light on.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I understand it is going to be lower because there were some things that we changed. Obviously, I know that is coming. This is the not to exceed, and I'm trying to set that guideline for the parameters as the commission to say, come back with the budget within these parameters. And as I've expressed to all of you, this is a lot of impact, not just looking at the general fund and the property taxes ad valorem, but also the assessment rates and everything else that is going to be seen on taxpayers' bills this year. And in light of the changes that were made during the year, the way that I came up with a proposed rate as I had offered is that we, as a commission, due to the compensation plan and the adjustment in pay and the contracts, the union contracts, all of which we as a commission, said that needed to be done, and even the community. And we knew that going into it, and even though we had monies in the surplus, in the surplus funds to do that, it is an impact that we imposed upon the citizens in the ensuing year and thereafter. And when you add up the amounts of that, we made changes that were $2.3 million, just rounding in numbers. And with leaving the millage rate the same rate that it is today, it brings in $1.5 million essentially. We also knew that we were going to do this pool, and that's been, what, a 25-year conversation. We knew that. And with the increases in the property and values, we knew that there would be increased revenues. So that left $1 million that we have to make sure that we have as recurring expenditures in order to fill that gap. And that comes to a 0.2757 millage rate difference. And those are the commitments that we made to the community and all of those things that we did. So that's the reason why I proposed that 3.6827 is to keep us within that framework and not live outside of our means, basically, going beyond that. I feel, as I've said in the workshops, we are putting too much in 1 year. We are also taking balances, surplus monies in reserve funds, lower than what I believe we should because of the economy and what we've seen in increases. And I just, would like to see this budget scaled back, essentially. So I will not be supportive of this 3.8991, even though I know it's going to come back lower, because I'm looking for the commission to set that not to exceed rate and to have the city manager work within that framework versus putting this number out that we know is not going to be the one. And then when people get their tax bill, of course they're going to see a lower rate than what was put out in the trim. So, and I just don't want to do it that way. So I just cannot support this high of a not to exceed rate. And I'll end it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McDowell, you had something additional you wanted to say?
I said a lot during budget, and I'm sure the city manager heard, not just me, but all of us loud and clear. And he's going to be taking a lot of what we said under advisement. And I know he's going to want his budget to pass come September.
And when we have that larger conversation about the fund balance requirements,
might help.
That is going to be a huge help in where we are in this budget.
I have to agree with Vice Mayor in regards to the fund balance. I think where we were in the last meeting with the 20, 10, and 5, I totally believe in that. And so she is accurate by saying we are under that at this point. But that's why one of the reasons I like going through the budget before we put that forward, because we have that leeway right now. Otherwise, we would be too overtaxed. So I'm fine with the way that it is right now. We'll go through that meeting and then we'll have to tackle it next year.
And just to clarify, what's going to be proposed is reducing that fund balance requirements to the 20, 10, and 5, right? Isn't that what the proposed
Yes,
is?
ma'am. The fund balance policy that you're going to be brought on Tuesday will have the 20, the 10, and the 5.
Which is less than what it is right now.
Right now, it's proposed to you at 25 and 10.
Right.
And the maximum being shown in all the fund balance calculations is 25. So under the new one, the maximum for the first one is 20, not 25.
Right.
And there's the 10 next for the next and the 5, where they're explained.
Okay.
We just went through budget meetings, though, going from 20 to 25. I mean, it wasn't a 25 and then a 10. We addressed everything in there from a 20 to a 25. So just, I mean, this will all be hashed out later. But in one hand, you can say, yes, it will be increased. Another, you can say decrease, but there is a change in it. And we could not have done what we did today had that new one been put in place.
I'm not going to argue. It's not. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and vote.
Mayor, I just had my light on. Just one other comment.
I didn't think your light went off, so.
I did this time. I pushed my button.
Okay.
But I pushed it again.
Uh-huh.
Just for clarity, because, when the public gets these documents, which this is online for the proposed budget, this millage rate increase that was proposed by the city manager, the way that it was put out in there in the incremental breakdown, I just want to make sure it's clear, because there was a millage rate tied to the pool specifically, and then nothing else. You know, it was, everything else is generalized. And I just really, I believe that is not the reason this millage rate is going up.
Thank you.
That is
Okay.
misleading.
I'm
So-
very happy you said
so-
that, yeah.
And again, looking at what I was talking about with the amendments that we made, and granted, we needed to do some things this year. We had to hire 2 personnel for the clerk's office. We had done the, adjustments
Salary
in the
study,
salaries.
the-
And that's something that the public had even said, hey, it's about time that we do those
Oh.
things. And that was actually a $1.3 million impact, which we knew we could do with the reserves we had, and then with the increases in the property values. So I just wanted to say that, because when people see the pool in there, no, that is not the reason that this
I'm
proposal
glad you said that.
is
Thank
coming
you, Vice
forward.
Mayor.
It's
Yeah.
because of the growth in the community. Granted, I didn't agree with, and, we'll have more conversation about the specific things as far as the number of employees and stuff, but I just felt it was necessary to say that. It's the overall growth in the community and the service level adjustments that have been considered and proposed by the city managers. So,
Well, I think
I
this
hate when it's
I hate to
pinpointed
say
to
it was the
something.
city manager, but I believe it was this commission that increased the level of service to the people.
No, in his proposed budget is what that
Right,
was
which
his
was,
proposed
which
budget,
was
right.
pretty much directed by the commission, because we had a draft
Yeah.
meeting. City manager, did you have something? to say?
Well, I just wanted to, yes, the budget was proposed with 3 specific millage rate increases and why. But you bring up a very valid point, and why we prepared that information. Our finance department was very helpful to me on this. The 3 pay changes, the general employee pay study, and the 2 union, or actually there were 3 union contracts, but that affected the pay this year. Just those alone were just under $2.3 million in the current year budget, and it will only be more next year because of the
Right.
guaranteed increases in some of the contracts. Those alone would have been a .568 millage rate increase. So with all the action the commission's taken, forget what we've done the last couple of days to remove things, but even prior to that, some of the direction you all gave us, some of the work we did to try to reduce those impacts. These millage rates here total .4921, which are not, like I say, as much to even cover the contracts and pay changes instituted in the current year. So yes, it could have been presented a different way. Not saying nothing was done for any other reason, but the millage rate just to cover the changes would have been more than what we're asking for in this maximum millage rate.
Yeah, and the other part of that, though, is that the public money is not just from the ad valorem, but the public has the benefits of the monies coming in from other fund sources. So you have the, special fees and things like that. That's all part of this. And so the other portion of the increase in the revenue we'll see, without an increase in the millage rate, comes from those increases in the, utility. Well, not the sales tax.
Gas tax.
But, right,
cell
the other
tax.
funding sources that go into the general fund. So that's where, what I was saying is that if we needed $1.1 million to make up that gap, we're making that up, I'm looking for a balance, making that up partly with the millage rate adjustment because it's recurring, but also attributing the other increases to make up what it is that we need. So it's not just ad valorem, it's the totality of it. But again, I just wanted to clarify, so it's not in the newspaper or misconstrued.
We don't have
in-
anyone from the
in
newspaper
social
here, so
media.
we don't have to worry
The
about
important news
it.
is
Yeah.
out there,
Or
right?
even the public conversation, in social media and
Or
stuff. It is
entertaining.
not the pool. It is the totality
Right.
of the service level in the city.
Correct.
And the growth that we are experiencing.
I
So that's
agree.
that's all I
I
wanted to
agree,
add.
Hold. Thank you for clarifying that, Ms. Mayor. Okay, if there's nothing further, let's go ahead and get this vote on the road, because we've been here since all day.
And all that being said, I gave you all reasons why I'm dissenting.
Okay, that's 4-1 with Vice Mayor Yates dissenting for reasons stated. All right, folks, hopefully there's no communication or reports. I have no public comment. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Dang.
Thursday?
Right? Can we?